Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Krosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Super pretty.
And Dan Jang.
Kitty titties.
If you're not familiar with what we do, neither are we. We come to you each and every week, podcasting services of your choice. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, some FM stuff, Apple stuff, Pocket Cast, wherever he's pointing.
The upside down.
The upside down, the right side up, the left to right. I'm missing glasses. I feel left. This is scary.
And a bald head.
It's like next episode. So we come to you podcasts, and then we have fun topics. If you're not familiar with our prior stuff, each week we come up with a topic. We have some fun. Usually nerdy stuff in nature, comics, movies, games, everything in between.
We only have 200 episodes. Or 200 years. 2 years.
121 episodes?
I meant to say 2 years of stuff, of backlog.
Hey, it's one of the last 2 weeks. It was someone's first episode, so it's everyone's first.
Everyone should have immediately just been watching all our stuff, dude.
We should just never do intros again. Just be like, just
on straight into it.
What are you talking about? This is what I think about simulation. So with that, we're going to go into the topics and we'll do chat after. Let's start with your topic.
So my topic has to do with issues I had for this week, for this episode.
Just this week?
Just this week. Because I've managed to figure something out every week. I could not figure out, for the life of me, a topic. So
he's got 2 for you right there.
My topic is
and hard.
What do you guys do to find a topic for this podcast?
Kotaku Google.
I mean, it depends. Like, I go through a series of thoughts. I'm like, okay, is there anything topical or like time sensitive? Like, that's my first thought. Is like, what can I do that's time sensitive? And what I mean by that is like, is there a recent news that just came out that would be relevant for people to like want to discuss, or is something about to come out that we should maybe discuss or speculate or share our thoughts on? Or is it around a holiday or like E3, for instance? That's an award show or something, or an event is about to come. If none of those are there, or sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm pretty sure. We coordinate, but like, I'm pretty sure one of you guys might be covering some of that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that might free me up to be, because we do 3 topics. We can't. Sometimes we do like all center around one thing, but.
Maybe we should just stick with one topic and we get 3 times the amount of information that we can do. You know, this last
changing things again.
Last 3 years.
I don't like it when you change things. No, I don't know. We've played around with that. I don't remember how it went.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just.
Didn't we do something like that?
Yeah.
Like one topic. And
we did one
rotate,
topic.
Right?
No,
I don't feel like we ever did that. We've always stuck with 3.
We rotated. We did one topic, but it was like one we agreed on. And I forgot what else.
I feel like this is the same thing. Like for me.
No, we've done it.
No, I'm pretty sure this is.
Okay, we talked about it.
You know,
where's my?
For those that you don't know, what I'm doing is I'm putting my hand around a chair that's no one is in, because I thought we had a guest one time, and they were like, "No, we never had that dude as a guest." And I was like, "I swear we did." And I looked at previous episodes, and apparently we've never had this guy as a guest.
All the episodes, right?
I mean, I went through all of them, and every time we did it, we put a note that we have a guest, and none of them was the person I thought, and so my mind just runs wild.
Now you know.
Mike, sleep your show.
Aside from that, sometimes I'll be like, oh, something's on my mind because of like my, whatever I'm going through that week, or a topic of conversation with coworkers, sometimes even, or with sometimes it's even with Katie. She gives me some ideas that have been really either she gives them directly, or something we're talking about spurns the idea of something. So it's for me. What about you two intellectuals?
Kotaku. No, but I try to make mine towards pop culture. Timing is an important issue, but I try to do. I know I've strayed aside from the pop culture when it gets hard and I'm reach for the stars.
When you're talking about books,
do sixth extinction types of stuff. But I don't know. I want to do more.
Well, that was because you were like reading about that, right? Like
that's true. But I want to do more controversial topics, but I don't know if this is the place and venue for it. But
Like what kind of controversy? Because we've done.
It's not.
We did like censorship once. Are you talking like more?
Maybe like going into political.
Maybe,
Okay.
but let's stray away from that. For now,
I thought.
I want to bring that in here in this.
I mean, I thought it was controversial to talk about.
The furries.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was controversial. I thought it was controversial. We've had quite a bit of ones where we've debated.
I'm trying to think of one where it was very heated.
There's been
Stranger
Simulation. dude.
Like I could think of Stranger Things season 2.
The fact that we're already in a simulation. You know.
That wasn't
not
heated. That was just me not understanding what you were saying. After repeated.
Which is funny because, like, I mean, for me, it was like I was repeating the same thing over and over. And
I think the second time we talked about the Epic Store, we had a bit of debate about whether the merits or the cons of it. Because we're talking about.
I think though, like that type of debate, like there isn't like whatever stance you fall on, like there's no like huge thing, like
Right. I know these aren't. I'm just saying, like
so.
times
I
when
think
we got debatable.
I think he's talking about like
of course,
you know
like
much
pro-life,
more,
pro-choice,
yeah, much bigger things, yeah.
The sanctity of marriage, millennials.
Gaming's an addiction.
We did that one,
Yeah.
and I think it just went into effect
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Gaming
crazy.
because of
That's
this
crazy.
podcast.
That's crazy.
They listened.
No, we did talk about what was it? It was something about YouTube. Some YouTubers had done some stuff, and we were like, you know,
Pranks?
what? No, it was. I think it involved the Logan Paul thing. That might have been it, but it was something about like what can people do to like.
I still think we stuck to the safe stuff, and we haven't done anything like what he may be playing. I don't know what he's thinking.
Would
but
Fuck, Marry, Kill count as controversial? That was episode 69.
I think I would feel like that's treading on what
Yeah.
on getting there. Yeah,
I thought the teabagging one was controversial.
it's controversial to me because you're wrong, but yeah.
Hey, Tetris is a fighting game.
That's a future episode.
Fight me.
Yeah, we haven't. I don't think we've gotten too crazy.
No,
Want to get nuts? No, that's not. That's not.
that's for the after hour podcast.
And then for me, just to find topics, it's usually pretty much revolve around timing. Like I look at the news, I like what's going on, but the problem is like I'll find different ways to phrase a question for a topic that I've closely we've already covered, stuff like that. But that's the thing is like now, like everything I see right now, like we have VR for whatchamacallit,
Nintendo Labo
for Smash.
Yeah.
Like and so that could be a topic, but I've literally brought up VR twice as a topic.
I mean,
So-
see, that's the thing, though. We've brought up many of these topics numerous times, but I think if we come at it with a new perspective or a new lens of some sort of like, well, now there's this to consider,
Right,
or we didn't consider this point of view that is recently,
Yeah.
someone's addressing it, or maybe we want to address it.
And I get
I
that.
think that's
I feel like I've done that for certain topics. Like I've
Okay.
come in from a different perspective, with like with a similar thing going on. But with the Labo, I have no experience with it. Like that's not a topic I'm comfortable with. I have no clue how that even works.
So something that I do sometimes is if there's a topic that I'm not as familiar with, but I feel like it could be a good conversation, I don't know if I succeed, but I at least try to be like, okay, I'm not going to be the one to share my thoughts on this. I'm going to be the
Right.
one posing questions. I'll be like, I want to just probe you guys on questions. So that's another way I like present a topic. I'm like, I might not know anything on this, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on
Yeah.
it. And so
Another one going on that I saw is like they're passing a law for loot boxes. So, but we've talked about loot boxes. We've had it like that topic like a few times actually. In regards to a specific game, in regards to what when they were talking about this whole being an issue, like, do you think this is going to become a law thing? And here we are with this, and that we've talked about remakes. There's a few coming out. We've got like Ghostbusters. We've got.
But I mean, if there's a way to like
Right,
come at it,
but
like
I
how
couldn't
you
think
said,
of
yeah,
it,
yeah.
because the thing is, I've nearly forgotten how we phrased the question. So it's very close to it, and I'm not comfortable like repeating it. So I just kind of go away from that topic, And like I kind of just I go through all the news that's going on, and I've realized like I've seen all this, and like I feel like we've done something similar. I feel like I want to go completely different from this, but I don't find anything.
It gets bad when I have a topic and I'm like, damn, did we do this already? And I don't remember. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if we've done this.
There was a few weeks in a row where each of us were like, I think we did that, and then the next text is episode 34, topic 2,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Exactly.
Like I know them for sure when it's like a top 3 favorite X or.
That's when we were like,
Well, no, those are fun. Those can be fun.
No, right,
but
right.
like I know for sure those are like. There's no other way we can like.
Yeah.
We've approached this exactly the
Yeah.
same.
There has been some good ones on Twitter that we could use. Like, what got you into gaming? What was it? There was another gaming one. Twitter did one. Xbox did one.
Oh, okay. I saw one today about like in that vein, and it was like what Pokemon types match your personality, and it was just showing each type, and it had like 3 bullet points for each type, and someone was like, "I'm Dragon Ice," because according to this, I'm
Dragon Knight.
Yeah. But a lot of those, like I see those was like 3 most influential games in your life, or 5 most iconic movie scenes, or
Yes.
whatever. Like
But we have. I think we've literally
No,
done.
we
both
haven't
those.
done it like
We've done
that.
5 of our favorite movies.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
different.
iconic. I
No,
know it's
scenes.
so similar. Though.
There was one that's
so
like
I don't wanna
5
I personally don't want to bring it up.
movies you've watched the most. 5 movies you've watched the most.
that's different.
That's
Watching a movie more than once is different than
yeah,
the
it's
movie
not
being
like
really
they're not
good.
my favorite movies.
No, but like I'm seriously, I'm okay with you guys having those topics, but I don't want to be the one to bring up like a similar topic we've had before.
But if it's
so I always
trending
try
on
to be,
Twitter,
Lock and load.
So that's why like at this point like I was like going through the news. I literally just like I Google video game news and I look at all the biggest things going on, and I'm like, we've done this. This has been done. This is
quit
done.
stealing from us, Vargas. Like the article.
Hey,
has been
one
done.
a few times I've gone to Ask Reddit because there's some good questions
Yeah,
on there
yeah.
sometimes. Like
That's true. There are some really good questions on Reddit, actually. Dang, we're gonna open up the floodgates, dude. Reddit.
here, top of all time on Ask Reddit.
You take it a step further.
People who haven't pooped in 2019 yet, why are you still holding on to last year's shit? Without saying what the category is, what are your top 5?
Hey, that's actually a really good one. So you would just randomly throw 5. Yeah. Be
So
like,
here's someone put
BGs.
silicone, glass, ABS, hard plastic, steel, aluminum.
That's actually really cool. Like we have like a list.
are your
Fuck.
top 5?
Future topic, dude.
Hard, wet, rapid fire, pressed against the surface, silent.
Wow.
Guns.
Toilet paper, ice cream, sweet tea, Windex, zip ties.
I have no fun. Kinky is the topic on that one.
Visual Basic, JavaScript, Python,
Oh, that's computer programming.
Perl, Hitler.
Fuck. That's right. See, look, throw that curveball in there, dude.
What the?
Hitler, Cosby, John Rothschild, and Rockefeller.
People.
And someone put top 5 baby names. Okay, so yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, I just personally don't like it. It gets hard for me because I want to get away from like a similar topic that we've done, and just make it new. But you run out, like, or you start forgetting, like, did we even do this topic?
Sure.
Like, I might think that we've done something already when we've never even gotten close to
Or
that. You know,
had a guest.
exactly. Or had guests that we've always had apparently. I just didn't realize. Got to. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Twitter is good sometimes. Like I've used it just because like either there'll be one of those like kind of
Yeah.
BuzzFeed like.
I've had it
lists.
to where like I've had like neutral topics or like topics where there's no it's not time sensitive. Like it
Sure.
doesn't it's not going to be, big if we go out now or
Well, it's
whatever.
just like, what are your thoughts on
yeah,
this?
and I'll write that down. I write like these things down, but like I've already exasperated that list.
Sometimes though, I have topics where I'm like, this would to really go into this in an interesting way. It would require much more thorough research on our parts, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, and a lot of times, the time of which I'm giving the topic to sharing it with you guys is like the day or two before we're going to talk about it. So I'm like, in a day or two, I don't know if any of us, let alone myself, are going to do the research needed.
I don't know if you've done it, but you can save it and literally like right now.
I've saved it.
You know,
I haven't.
And then you can give it to us
like
today.
a YouTube video
you know?
or something that explains it.
And that way we can all have
That's a
the
good point.
whole week to figure it out.
It's only happened once, but Vargas actually took one of my topics. I was like, damn, that's why like I try to like be fast at the top. Most of the time I'm not, but I want to be the first one. Like the Death Stranding one, I was like, okay, the one that's future.
I wasn't even gonna talk
I was
about
like, damn, I need to put that one in.
Would have never been.
Well,
my
there's
topic.
a lot of times where I'm just like predicting. I'm like, I think one of you guys are going to bring up like whatever the Fortnite topic is or whatever this other topic is, and I'm like, I'm just gonna. My headspace starts going elsewhere. I'm like, but then sometimes I'm wrong. I'm like, wait, no one's going to cover this. Well, should one of us cover this? Should I bank this topic that I just got? So yeah.
Money in the bank in the moats.
Brock Lesnar coming out of nowhere. Here's my topic. Like,
Let's not talk about that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unless you guys have something else, or if you guys want to just give me a bunch of topics right now, so I can write them down and save them for later.
Reddit. The gold mine. Reddit.
I had
My
a list.
list
Sometimes
is-
I keep a list.
I delete like my topics obviously as I go through the list. And it's completely done. It's dried out.
What's scary?
Oh
is,
shit! I have that guy's phone number.
No way. No way. Just show it on.
I just realized.
Just show it on.
Doink soft.
Yeah, I have a few.
You should text. You should,
But I don't remember
take
if
a
we-
picture of this and text it to him.
Did you take a picture of it? Because I'm assuming you're in your pictures.
I'm
Oh,
in my
your
I'm in my
notes.
notepad,
Okay, that's
and
right.
I remember when I met him. I'm referring to Jang's Gato
the
Roboto.
Gato
shirt.
Roboto game.
His name's Joseph. He was, and then yeah, I was walking after we were talking to the messenger people, and he was walking with him to lunch. He's like, "Here's my number. Just if you want to do an interview, call me." And he's like, "This is my personal number."
And you never called me like, fuck, I lost that
Like,
opportunity.
now I just feel weird.
It's on sale. 15% off. Steam and
Oh, the game, not his number. I was like, I'm not selling his number.
It's on sale 15%.
Devolver,
Like, no.
Devolver Digital. Selected games on sale. Dabs. Kitty titty.
There's our plug. Kitty titties and dabs.
Ah.
Yeah, that's all I had for.
That's all I have too. You want to move on to the next
I'm a
one?
lot of topics now.
Perfect. Let's move on to the next topic then.
Next topic.
Next time.
Pajama Man. No, so this is like recently, Tfue is claiming that his contract is unfair and oppressive. He's under a clan called Faze Clan, and I believe it's like sponsorships he can't pick. He gets 20%. Faze Clan gets 80. Everything else is 50 except for winnings. It's reversed, so he gets 80. Faze Clan gets 20%. He's claiming that he's part of a talent agency and he's not a professional athlete. That's how because they're making him do crazy stuff like underage drinking on video and do crazy stunts.
Because FaZe does a YouTube channel, right?
Yes. They're I mean, are they good? I don't know if they're good competitively, but what's weird is like on Tfue's like Twitter thing, it says professional athlete. So it's kind of like, damn, is he really like talent? So he's claiming that he's a talent, not a professional athlete. They're claiming otherwise, but they're also saying that they've only collected $60,000 from him, and they haven't collected the actual percentage that's under the contract. So that's where we're at. What are your thoughts on? It's pretty much esports and contracts.
Yeah.
I think it's how well defined is the legal landscape of both the YouTube and the esports areas. I think that's where it's like,
I do think this might be a pivotal moment for like, professional athletes / talents that are going to go into contracts or be under sponsorships or be with like a specific group, entertainment group or professional group. Because I don't think that's something that's talked about. Like you just see, like you see Ninja. We see Ninja. For all I know, he could be with the group, and I think he is. And that since he's there, they're going to manage a lot of his of where he goes, what he does, but they're obviously going to take a percentage of that money. So that he has to make a contract, or they're going to give him a contract, and he has to sign agencies, stuff like that. So I think this is going to make it more aware for younger folks who might, just out of nowhere kind of blow up in fame and just, not know what to do. And like, it makes them aware, it's going to make them aware that I can't just sign anything.
That's true. I wonder, in this vein that you're saying, what similarities or differences this sort of challenge or trouble has with like collegiate sports. Like if a talent in a collegiate sport is like taken advantage of by either their coach, in the sense of like they use them to market the school or use them to, do more than what they should be, just for they're like, I'm here to just play the game. Mm-hmm. Whereas like a professional, like an NBA or NFL or whatever, MLB player has like, they have a contract, it's defined. I don't know if that's defined in a collegiate level. It's like you made the cut, you're in the team. What is covered and not covered by that? I wonder how, because a lot of these players that I'm seeing, the reason I bring that up is because a lot of the players I'm seeing for like video game esports are young, and they're usually under the age of like like they probably don't. I don't know like what a college level is, but I'm just saying like probably in their no later than their 20s usually.
I mean, there are now scholarships to compete.
Oh yeah, there's that too. I think that helps in the structure side of things. But like some of these kids are like, I'm just streaming, and then they become famous and
what's
at a young age.
Who was the guy who was really big in Fortnite and then didn't learn how to build and kind of fell off? He was there with Ninja. I forget his name.
Myth.
Yeah, Myth. He's like 19, right? He's like 19 years old or something like that. Yeah.
Hi. What time do we need to be out of here?
10.
Right now? Oh.
How long you guys been stay?
I mean,
20, 30 minutes if possible. I mean, we clean up and we get going. Is that an issue?
Okay. The thing is, if you guys get off, the doors automatically.
we were told before by one of the security guards that both that room and this room are up until midnight, and that's why we use this room for this.
Okay.
So
he said that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
But the thing is, because automatically they lock up.
Right.
Even if you want to stay.
Yeah.
But if you forgot something, you get in. That you probably not gonna work.
Right. Yeah, I know that.
We can't come back in. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So I completely lost.
For what you were saying was about.
Myth. Yeah. So he's 19 years old. Like he's. He seems like a very intelligent guy, but he could easily be manipulated and say like, "Hey, dude, you're huge. Like, you have money coming in from anywhere. Like, if you sign this contract, we'll get you sponsorships, we'll get you all this stuff, and you
don't have to pay for rent.
Exactly. You don't say any of that. I mean, you tell them all the benefits, and you realize like, but we're gonna be like, sapping 50% of everything you're making. Like. You got
to go here.
Yeah,
where we tell you to go. And
you're gonna have to have a minimum of like 6
that's
sponsorships. Yeah, like that's where it starts getting all messed up. And just this is all gaming related, but I know that like specifically Dunkey. We enjoy his videos, YouTube videos. YouTuber. I remember this is back when like YouTube, when like being sponsored on YouTube was a big thing. Like not through YouTube itself, but like through someone else. I remember he signed up with a group and like. He was like, dude, this is guaranteed money. Like, I moved to a different city, because I was guaranteed all this money. And, like, he didn't read the fine print. And they were like, you have to do a video, like, every 3 days. You have to do this. And he was like, I did videos whenever I wanted. And now I didn't realize, like, after signing this contract, I had to spit out, like, videos, like, left and right. Yeah. And he's like, he immediately, like, within the month of moving, he was like, I'm already out of that contract. Like, I'm fucked. Like, I've already moved into this new place, and I've already signed a contract for this place, Shit. And so, he had, like, he was in a really bad spot, but he managed to, work it through and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, like, this has always been a thing, But I hope, like this issue with Tfue makes it aware for everyone else. Like, I don't like people getting stuck in this, being taken advantage of.
Yeah, there's probably drama with it, but, I hope that it's a lessons learned. I agree.
Yeah.
Very important, dude. Get a lawyer, dude. It doesn't even matter if you're like just coming up, dude. You need someone to.
I think that's the biggest thing, though. Coming up, you're like, I'm not big enough to have a lawyer. Like that's like thousands of dollars. But a lot of times, like, there's lawyers that take like again, they'll take a percentage of things. So it's like,
Well, I think one of the things I was thinking of when you mentioned what the contracted videos was like, I don't know how the contracts work, but like StarCraft being a professional, it's like you're at a house, you're sitting there like practice sessions, they bring food to you. There's benefits and stuff, but I wonder what the limitations and parameters are. Like, you're not allowed to leave until we get like 8 hours of practice out of you today. We need to see results in your practice, progress.
What if it's crazy? You're not allowed to wear certain clothing. Like, you're not. It's like, dude, like, you got to read the contract.
Yeah.
Like, please read the contract.
And yeah, they can be easily influenced. And
but even then, I feel like there's like, it could be wording, could be different things. Like, you're just like, you read it one way and you're like, oh, cool. And you're like, no, that means
not covered by this.
Yeah, it means a completely different thing. Or like, they'll put like, it says like, yeah, you'll make 100% of what you make yourself. And then like, there's fine print where it's like, if you don't make enough videos, we'll be taking 50%. It's like, so you read that first part, you're like, oh, that's cool. And
part of it is FaZe Clan's fault too. They kind of like, it wasn't a business relationship. It was like a friendship relationship.
Yeah.
So FaZe Clan didn't take the amount of percentage, the correct amount of percentage. So it was more like a trust loyalty kind of thing. And that's when it gets kind of.
Yeah. And now that he's huge or like way bigger than what FaZe Clan is itself, they're like, you know, they're trying to
business
take that
friendship.
Yeah, it becomes
closer.
more business than friendship at that point. And you know, you feel gypped at that point as an individual. But yeah, like, I mean, there's just so much. It's all in the fine print. There's just so much to do.
It's also a lot of it's not. I don't know how much of it's clearly defined.
Yeah.
Like, because it's what is a professional, like, how do you need a license now for that? Will there be a forward step of like people pushing for that sort of thing, of like to define how a professional gamer is differentiated from a talent of some kind? Like,
I hope
is that
that-
going to be contract to contract, or is that going to be like, hey, you were
I hope that more things become official, because I think there's a lot of things that are done, like specifically in esports and stuff like that aren't, I wouldn't say are official, or there's no way to actually do it. Like, it's just, you either get someone that's doing a good venue and like they've handled everything, like where people come in through, stuff like that. But then there's venues you go to where it's a complete mess. You know, like no one knows where to come in through. No security guard knows what to do to check for people, and it's just like random. Like, no one paid, and like half these people are inside this venue. You know,
That's a good point, but I would also then be worried that if it becomes like there's a formality or some sort of license or something required, it might deter many people from, you know, getting any sort of exposure of like, oh, I just wanted to go to this, like I look at the Smash Bros scene, like a lot of people just go to local tournaments and they just go up the ranks of like just playing people.
Yeah.
There's no barrier
Exactly.
for that. And that's a pro and a con. It's a pro because it's like, okay, everyone can play, but it's a con because of what you're saying. You get a chance, like things just become
I
a
feel
mess.
like this is something we talked about, because we were talking about like when you think of like like playing soccer, like you don't think about playing professionally because you're like, how do I even start that process, you know? But for gaming, like no one questions it. Like, you're just like, I just got to play a game really well and I can start playing professionally, you know?
Tournaments. And
But once you get like that whole official like licensing thing, it's like, no, you have to go through this whole process. You have to like.
I think the ones where a process might be more easily, you know, fit into everything would be team-based games, because a lot of the team-based games now in the professional level have like an official team, like I guess how this is, and like you see Sonic Fox is a part of a team, and they have a coach, and they have like Dota has a team, or CS:GO has a team, or Overwatch has a team, and like all these things. There's a framework and a structure for the team already, and so you can't just be on your own. They were going to talent scout you anyway or something.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
It's kind of like off tangent. I have a friend that does professional eating, but he won't go to licensed professional eating tournaments because when you go to that, you can't do other like offshoot like eating challenges. Like, you're prohibited. So if he wants to do the Nathan hot dog thing, he can't. He can't be pro.
He
can't be pro. He can't be a
Yeah.
professional eater.
Okay.
So
He
just does.
he can't go to like random restaurants that have like their own type of challenges to do those challenges.
Because
if he does like these
if he wants to go pro.
yeah.
So,
Interesting.
And the content is in those small ones and not the big pro ones. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, again, Tfue, like that whole thing, like when it came out, like huge news, like everyone was talking about it, like to the point where like his contract got leaked, like everything was looking into it. I haven't heard anything about it since. Like,
to be
it's just-
honest,
it's kind of died out.
I don't think he can win it because he's saying he's not a professional athlete and he's a talent agency. You wrote that on your Twitter. You go to pro
I'm
tournaments.
sure he might have already taken it off, but he's had it there long enough where someone can take a screenshot and be like, "You had this on there."
But like, how valid is? I could put that on mine.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I
he's
think that's where
actually-
it's weird. Where it's
but
like,
he's actually won tournaments. That's the thing. That's back.
it's. I think it's gonna come down to who's got more money to pay lawyer.
true.
And that's like a lot of the times when I hear with the YouTubers, it's like, what's it, Ethan?
Klein.
Yeah, H3H3 and someone else. I forget what his name was. There was another YouTuber like him that was like, Jim Sterling. They were in legal battles with these big companies because of like copyright issues or allegations towards them. And the only thing that they were like, we're in the right, but like they're just now trying to like suck us of money.
Yeah.
Like
They're just trying to make this long
win
enough
this,
to where
but
we-
through like getting us
Yeah.
to like not be able to do stuff. And I'm like, man, that's shitty. Like when they're both on the same platform, you got someone like it's a company and someone who's like an individual representing themselves as a brand, and that kind of like I don't know how this is going to play out if it's similar to that, but it'll be interesting.
I don't think he's gonna win. He's pro. I mean, he's not unless he can prove that they forced him to do crazy stunts and underage drinking.
So, are we doing predictions? Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
It's too predictable, bro.
All right, Tfue becomes the
Night King.
You lived long enough to see yourself a villain, dude.
Harry Potter. All right, my topic. There was a Pokemon conference in Japan.
Good talk, guys.
Okay.
Time to sleep.
I mean, according to the guy that interrupted us,
Well, he's in his pajamas.
He's ready to go. He's still standing there.
is he like the owner? I don't know. Whatever.
No, I think he's helps around here. There was a Pokemon conference in Japan. They kind of went over some of their wider variety of properties within Pokemon and shared some details. And some of that was for Pokemon Go, which was like there's like some
Here's
specifics.
legendary.
Well, there was some specific Snorlax out, and they're like, okay, there's some more Pokemon Go event stuff to tie you guys over. And then there was a sequel to Detective Pikachu, the game, which would be the first one was on the 3DS, and this one is going to be on the Switch. And this is the game, not the movie.
They're going hard on Pokemon right now, dude. Real fucking
Dude,
hard.
we'll get into I just want to get general thoughts on everything they announced. So then there was those, and then there was Pokemon Home, which is supposed to be this cloud-based service that they're going to have, which is going to interlace Let's Go, Sword and Shield, Go, and I think something else.
I think
Bank?
PlayStation wants to have a talk
Pokemon
with them.
Bank?
PlayStation Home.
Yeah, Bank, which is like the bank that people would use for the 3DS. Like
That's the app that's going to make
Money?
Switch be able to have all of the old
no, but
Pokemon.
maybe, but the Home is the thing connecting the bank to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Money
as
in
long
the
as you
Bank?
have those two, and if you've
Brock
been
Lesnar.
using Bank the whole time,
Yeah.
like I remember there's a way to get like Pokemon
From-
Crystal.
yeah,
and
you
all
can
that
get from all kinds.
like into Bank, and
Yes.
then from there now you can get it, to Home, and then from Home to your Switch. So I can get like my original Pikachu back from Blue.
I don't think it
On
goes that far.
I don't know about
You're
that.
my boy, Blue.
So then there's Home, and then in addition to that, they're like, we're making a new game, Pokemon Sleep. I was like, and Katie's listening to this while I'm watching. I was like excited. I'm like,
So
we're gonna
her
get
ears
some,
like,
and she's like, is this a Black Mirror episode? Because first the translations were being done so like monotonously.
Yeah.
Like there was a translator for the Japanese guy, and she's like, "Is this real?" Because it sounds like it's just like an automated like sort of
Yeah.
message. And then the guy in charge of Niantic comes out, and then he talks. He's speaking English, and then the sleep thing happened. And so sleep was supposed to be this like it's a game that you play when you're sleeping, and it's supposed to somehow be like set a device next to your bed, on your bed, and it gauges how long you've slept, and somehow that will be interactive and be a gameplay mechanic.
And we've had, I mean, stuff like that exists. We have like sleep activity programs or apps.
Fitbit.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like,
watches.
or like phone apps where it says like leave it and it'll sense like if you move it'll
next, right?
gyroscope.
Pokemon Poo. Nintendo. Call me.
Black Mirror.
Bro, I already got the artwork for you.
Super pretty.
Pokemon
Someone
shit.
already figured it out, dude.
Or Pokemon Nap.
I like how they deleted the S from Snap. Pokemon Nap.
So I just want to get your guys' thoughts on what
I think it's interesting.
all of this
to be
is
honest with you, if Pokemon Sleep's a free mobile game,
it's from the makers of the Magic Heart mobile game. There was like some
yeah, that was
catchy.
fun as shit.
Yeah, a lot of people played that.
That
I
thing
played a little
was
bit of
big.
it, but like I don't see how those like that game wasn't very telling to me of what this will be. Like
Right,
they
right.
feel like very different things.
The thing, like, if it's free, I think it's something I'll try because I've always been interested in having like a sleep app, and if I can make it a game, like
That's Katie's first like when she listened to it more, she's like, "Well, if it'll get you to sleep more,
so I'm all for it.
go for Pokemon." Like
14-hour sleeps. Dracula didn't love
You're
me.
gonna play it more than the Mario Kart game, you know? Meaning you're gonna
Maybe.
be sleeping more.
gotta grind those levels.
Yeah, the most interesting things for me were the Pokemon Home. I don't know if I can take advantage of that because I really never used Pokemon Bank, and I don't know how that worked. I don't know how Pokemon Bank worked. Where like if we're no longer active in it, did it delete everything?
So
else
it's
from
like
it?
it's showing arrows in certain directions. So it's saying bank will only go to home.
Yeah, to
home
home.
won't go to bank.
Right.
Go will only go to home, not the other way. And then let's go will only go to home. But,
But
Sword
it
and
goes-
Shield.
It goes into
Back
the
and
Switch.
forth,
That's
yeah.
the most important.
It's true.
Yeah, and it was saying that you can use Home to trade friends like the Pokemon and stuff like that. So you don't even have to have the game active. If Pokemon is in your home and you have the app.
Yeah. The other thing I forgot to add was there was another mobile game called Pokemon Masters.
Oh yeah.
And there was some like anime like cinematics, and then the gameplay was very much like kind of like a mobile version of like turn-based fighting. It was like the mobile version of like what traditional Pokemon was, where like you pick one of 4 moves, then they do their turn-based attacks, but like much more mobilized.
So Pokemon Tactics.
No, I wish. So that was the last game they brought out, and I'll get into my thought, but yeah. Did you have any other-
My first thought was like, I feel like they're going really hard on Pokemon, like insanely hard. Like we've had small things coming out, Pokemon Go Pikachu, Go Eevee, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And they're like, oh, by the way, we have Sword and Shield kind of coming out, and he's like, oh, here's a movie, and now it's just like, boom, here's all this shit, and it's just like, when did this wave happen? I feel like it was like receding, and now the tsunami is hitting us with all this information. But I'm interested. I really, really want to get into Pokemon Sword and Shield because I want the classic games more modernized, and this is as close as it's getting for me when it comes to the way those games play.
Okay.
I don't feel like Pokemon Go and Eevee were there when it
Let's
came
go.
to
The Let's
the,
Go.
yeah,
Pokemon,
Let's Go. They weren't the kind of games. They didn't have like the you fight the wild Pokemon to catch them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping to go hard on.
So this
Shield.
conference kind of like made you think more about the Sword and Shield because they are having a separate announcement.
Yeah.
For Sword and Shield.
It made me want to like if they're gonna push like a lot of of this stuff like this franchise is like they're pushing it kind of
Yeah.
forward. I feel like that means that they're gonna be active with Pokemon
Okay.
Shield. Obviously they haven't given more news for that specific game.
Right,
but,
right.
The fact that they're kind of building a network for it, it is making me more interested.
What do you think, Jay?
I didn't watch the direct. I'm interested in Sword and Shield.
It wasn't which direct? The original Sword and Shield?
No,
direct?
I think
Both.
what
No,
you're
this
talking about-
conference wasn't a direct.
Oh, it
this was
wasn't a
just like
direct.
Pokemon conference in Japan, and Twitch was streaming it.
Mm.
So there was no Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct that they said will be for Sword and Shield next week,
Oh,
and it'll
okay.
be just for Sword and Shield.
Okay.
So this was kind of like Pokemon Company doing its own thing, and yeah. But you said you hadn't watched it.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I hope the sleep thing has a wearable app thing that
So they
tracks
ha-
your sleep.
They have a device. They're like, we have someone with our hardware company, and they're like, here's the Go Plus, which is the little device for Pokemon Go. Then they're like, we have the Let's Go Pokeball, which was an evolution of that, which was also for Let's Go and also for Pokemon Go. And then they're like, we have this thing, and it's like the size of this Starbucks lid. It's like a disc with a big button in the center. It looks almost like a kid's toy. And they're like, this is the Go Plus Plus. And it's like you can use it as a Go Plus for Pokemon Go, but you set this on your bed next to your pillow, and it's supposed to be able to determine the whatever that you're sleeping. So that's what that device's intended purpose is to pair with the.
It takes makes a virtual you, and you get stuck in the Black Mirror Pokemon.
I mean, that's what Bill is in the first Pokemon. He's like Bill's PC. He gets turned into a Pokemon. Just saying.
I just hope with the Direct that's coming up, they do it invitational, like how Smash does tournaments.
Oh,
like
okay.
a open call. If you are number one, you get flown to wherever the Pokemon World Championship is. I hope they do tournament, do a World Cup kind of Fortnite World Cup.
From what I understand, they have been consistently doing national and international tournaments. If you go to the Pokemon websites, you can find local tournaments that will get you points towards those.
Interesting.
But they're not like advertised. It's like you have to seek it out. Like it'd be cool if through the Switch game, you could be like, next tournament, like instead of just it'd be cool if you could go to
like
in-person tournaments, but it'd also be cool if you could be like, oh, based on this leaderboard online, like what you're saying, I'm already set up and the invites coming out to top players or something. Like I could see what you're saying there. That'd be cool. Integrate that. I think for me, the biggest thing I noticed with what they were doing with all this was a big, like they did Detective Pikachu for the Switch that they said, and that was, I guess, somewhat big news because the movie had just come out. They're trying to keep going with that. But everything else seemed very mobile focused. So it made me think like maybe they're going to keep like they used to be 3DS and Switch. I think they're making a big presence on people. They want to be. They saw the impact that Pokemon Go can have on people's phones and how much they're still fucking raking in money, like a lot of money, like in the billions for just Pokemon Go. So they're like, if we can make even a fraction of that on any of these other little apps we're making for the phone.
Money in the bank.
Money in the bank.
Money at home. What?
Money in your sleep.
This would be evil. They wouldn't do this, but every transaction you had to pay, like a cent, like a cent.
No, please. So,
transfer your Pokemon.
The fact that you're saying this is already out in the world.
Fucking Team Rocket shirt.
I mean, it's only a penny.
No.
No.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when I saw the Masters one, I'm like, they're just gonna make like a traditional.
That's just the battle part of
I guess, but I'm just saying, like, that could be the first step. Like, they keep doing that kind of trend. That could be a place where people are like, oh, I still have a Pokemon experience here. Yeah. The other side of it made me think, like, I know you said this is a big push, but I looked at all the spin-offs they've had throughout the years, and there's been, like, countless. Like, we've had Snap, which is a more popular one. We've had the Pinball. We've had
Mystery Dungeon.
The Mystery Dungeons. We've had...
But the reason it's a big push is these offshoots didn't come, like, back to back to back. Or at the same time.
Right.
This is just, I feel like it's a big push.
I think it's because of the time and place we're at now, where they're so big now, and mobile is so easy to just throw stuff on. I didn't even realize how many different mobile games there are currently in existence. There's something called Duel. There's something called Puzzle something. There's another one that I don't even remember the name of, but it's like all these styles of game that they just like throw Pokemon on it.
Right.
Like what's that? Simsum.
Oh yeah, TSUM.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that like it's an addictive type of game.
Yeah.
But they made the Pokemon version of it. It's like just fucking throw Pokemon on it and it's a game.
That's funny actually that you mentioned that because, again, like this isn't. I keep thinking of it for some reason as a direct, and it wasn't a direct. This is just like a conference where they're announcing different things, and they've had a bunch of mobile games that didn't come out at the same time,
right?
But they weren't. We didn't see them announced or anything like that. They kind of been.
And these, by the way, weren't. There wasn't like major gameplay. Like the Sleep, they just mentioned the name.
Yeah.
Masters, they showed like a cutscene.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like I don't think any of the other ones.
I think these are just standard mobile games that are coming out. It's not having to do with like a
a unified
a
thing.
unified thing. Because
I think
the
home-
Pokemon, the Magikarp thing we were talking about, like
Yeah.
that one became popular. Like
Right.
it became a thing where like I would see someone's like, this is how high I went up. I'm like, what the hell is this?
There was that other one that it was on mobile, but it was also on Switch for free. It was like Bitmoji style.
Oh yeah, the Pikachu one.
No, it was like a farm, and you had like all the Pokemon were there.
Was that on the Switch or
It was
Wii?
like it was
It's
like
on
a
the
pixel.
Switch.
It was like
It-
pixelated. Right?
Yeah, it was pixelated. It's on the Switch. It's for free.
Yeah.
But you can play that same game on your phone as well.
I remember that one.
And people were going crazy because it was like, oh, here's like nostalgia,
game, yeah.
Pokemon nostalgia, and it's free. But I agree with you. I don't think it's unified. I do think that the home thing could be unified with.
Oh, I think it definitely will.
And maybe Sleep, just because Niantic's also kind of involved with that. The other ones Niantic wasn't involved with, so I think Niantic's becoming a big partner with them in some way, like in more ways than just Go. But I'd be curious to see what else they do with Go, to be honest.
I know that like Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go are kind of connected. You can put Pokemon.
You
in
can
the
go one way,
Okay.
yeah, and they try to incentivize you to do that.
But so there's no way to connect Pokemon Let's Go to any current like old school RPG Pokemon game. So Home actually makes that connection happen, which is huge to me. Like I haven't been keeping up with Pokemon Go. Like I've literally played it like the first month it came out, and that
I
was
still
it.
haven't opened my gift.
I don't even know if I have the app still on here, but yeah, I don't touch it. And like, if I've been following it around, like I would have like certain Pokemon that I could immediately have, you know, on Sword and Shield, you know, had I get this home thing and put them over. So
Sure.
I'm mad at myself for that. Starting out really weak.
Gotta get to level 40.
Can't get to those Grandmasters, you know?
Gotta make a bet.
Oh yeah, I ended up buying it. Well, we'll talk about it.
Warcraft? He's back, boys. Got him, boys.
Yeah, that's all I had. I'm hoping next week we maybe have some stuff about Sword and Shield to talk
It's gonna
about.
be exciting.
But yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week. I was actually expecting something with for actual Pokemon Go to be announced rather than like other things being kind of tangentially related.
Right.
Because one of the things you mentioned, Jank, for Sword and Shield and the tournament stuff, there's PvP now in Pokemon Go, and it's been out for a little bit now. And what's I've been noticing, and I'm trying to find the time to do more of it or get more involved in it, is there's a third-party company called the Sylph Road, which is a reference to something in the game.
Yeah.
But it's just like fans of the game that have made this really cool hub of Pokemon Go, like stats and info and things to be helpful for everyone. And one of the things they've set up is a tournament system that has become widely accepted across countries even.
Wow.
And local Discord, they coordinate through Discord. So what they do is they send everyone the Discord information. They're like, hey, every month there's a new theme tournament. So like the month of May, it was Kingdom Cup. So they did all the like fire, ice, and like I think dragon and ground or something. They're trying to go Game of Thrones theme or something. And so certain types were only available in that cup. And what you would do is you would do as many local tournaments to try to raise your ranking in this leaderboard that would then, after like let's say 3 months of tournaments, you would, if you had enough points on your ranking, you were invited to regionals. And so recently, just now, regionals have been taking place, and people are like doing these tournaments and regionals. And they're doing. What's cool about it is there's 3 levels for the Pokemon Go tournaments. There's the lowest league, the middle league, and the Ultra League. The Ultra League is like mostly legendaries. So the way they mitigate this and make it so it's an even playing field is their tournaments all take place at the lowest level, and there's a lot more options for like Haunter might actually perform better than a Gengar, for instance.
Right.
For someone that knows Pokemon, that's like the middle evolution is superior to the final evolution because the stats can be better because its capacity, all this stuff works differently at the low level. It's interesting. I just tie it all back together. It's interesting. I would love for Pokemon Go to like have a structured system like what you were saying with Sword and Shield. That's what I was just trying to get at. And that caps off my talk. Put you guys to sleep. Anyway, what have you guys been up to this week?
I watched Aladdin.
Why?
I don't know.
How was it?
I would
That pause though.
no. I would say the movie is acceptable. Like it's good. It's not bad or anything. Again, if you're gonna compare it, you're not gonna enjoy it.
But should we compare it?
No.
Hey,
Yes.
topic. That was a topic we
Yes.
I already answered it. Topic's over.
did. All right, see you guys next week.
I still like the original. Even music wise, they try to go a little bit differently. They have I would say a few different songs.
Getting
but
jiggy with it.
they have
Hey.
there's a part where Will Smith he throws a little bit of himself in there.
I saw a
Fresh
clip.
Prince?
I saw a clip on YouTube. It was like showing the Prince Ali music.
Oh yeah.
How was it for you?
It was good.
That scene.
It was fun.
Okay.
I don't know how much of it shows.
It shows like make way for
Yeah,
Prince. Like it didn't show the full thing, so I can't speak to all of it. But the part I saw was like,
Well, what is it?
it just looked like a parade.
It
Like,
was a parade.
like a.
I mean, even if
not,
you look at the original, it's a parade.
I know, but what I'm saying is like just like it looked like a parade in like a neighborhood versus like a parade like a I'm comparing like a neighborhood parade versus like a Macy's Day Parade.
But you can't make
It's-
that comparison.
So the movie,
Like when I saw it,
I think it's because the trailer only shows the very beginning of it, which is
it
them
could.
entering.
Well, the clip
and-
I think kind of was just the. It was an
Yeah.
extended version of just the beginning.
Yeah, and,
so
it shows them enter, and like a lot of it happens in that entrance part, and then eventually it kind of zooms out, pans out, and you're like, holy shit, that's a really long line. But yeah, the beginning, it's like you can tell it's a closed set, but I think when you're watching the movie,
Okay.
in the trailer you can tell.
Okay,
But when you're
okay.
watching the movie, that kind of goes away. You don't realize it because it's going like in and out for different ones. It's doing different shots. There's this, so if you remember the original in that part, he turns into a female.
Yeah.
Or like he has female clothing
he
on.
does
and yet he's dancing with like the ladies. And this does something similar like that. And like I saw him like, oh, that's amazing. Like they went with that. But then they have a little bit of difference on the songs. And the animation I feel like did it a lot better. And I just enjoy the classic music and the renditions of the way they sing it as opposed to the way they do it here.
Okay.
But I think
Did they add any story elements that were never even?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, they
Yeah?
changed story elements.
Because I
in it.
remember in the Beauty and the Beast one, which is like the only live action one I've seen, there were like subplots that were never in the. That's how they took like an hour animated movie into.
The whole main concept is there. Like,
Okay.
obviously,
But they what did they
Jafar
add?
wants to grab. I don't want to say like I don't. It's not a spoiler or anything like that. But in the original, like they literally have Jasmine as a slave. Like they even have her dressed in
At
like
the
a
end?
sexy red. Yeah, towards the end. They don't have that necessarily in this one.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest major differences, and you can obviously watching you'll know why. Or
Are there
what the-
characters that aren't in the original that are in this?
No, there's even one like so in the beginning. He sings a song called "A Step Ahead" or "One Step Ahead," and it's the part where he's running away from like the guards because they.
Is it the same song? Like
Yeah, very, very similar. Yeah, very,
da.
very similar. I mean, there's like a little different, and there's a part where like there's a lady that grabs him, and he's very delicious. And this exact, I mean, he doesn't grab him, but like that lady with like, she has like a gap tooth. They have a lady that has a gap tooth that says the exact same line. I'm like, that's fucking amazing, like. So they have those small differences, but there's other.
But no like characters that are in the story that weren't in the original. Because the reason I asked that is when I saw and this was like the Disney musical production, like they were touring and stuff, and we went to the one near us, and from what I saw of that full thing versus the clips of this I've seen, I felt like that captured a lot of the elements that I appreciated more while being different. But again, it was a musical, so it's like theatrical. It's very different versus like seeing an animated thing. But the thing that they added that was different was there were 3 friends of Aladdin's that were like also street rats with him.
Yeah.
And there was a whole like it wasn't a subplot, but they were like we got to support Al, our buddy. And it was like, they did that instead of Apu. They didn't have the monkey.
Yeah, right,
they had
right.
3 friends because
Yeah.
in the theater, you couldn't do the monkey. And Yago was a sidekick guy versus an actual parrot.
In
so,
red?
yeah, he was just like a short, like, my name is Yago. And he's like, he just parrots me all day. Like, and so I was wondering if they did that sort of variation stuff.
No. They had Apu, they have Iago. Like all the main characters are the main characters. There isn't anyone kind of added on secondary. There's they have the guards, which none of them are like, you know, a special named guard, but there is one guard to the Sultan who kind of plays a role essentially. But I don't remember. I feel like there is a guard like that in the original. I can't remember for sure. But yeah, I mean, overall, again, it's good if you don't compare it. But I still like the original music wise. Did a lot better.
So the last question I have is, I don't know how familiar you are with Guy Ritchie and his prior films. Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking, Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey films, the King Arthur movie, a few other ones. He's got a style.
Yeah.
Do you, based on those movies?
Nope.
It wasn't.
No, because I'm familiar with like Lock, Stock.
Is it directed by Guy Ritchie?
Yeah. That's the part that I was like, what? A Guy Ritchie
Yeah, no, I would have never
How's this
guessed, to
fucking
be honest with you. And I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't look into that part, and I would never have.
There are
guessed.
elements in King Arthur that I could see working in this because they have the King Arthur character in that movie be a start. He doesn't know he's noble,
Yeah.
or any sort of like destiny or anything, and he's a street rat. And I'm like, fuck.
No, one thing I got to say is they did a fantastic job in the intro when like he first finds the genie, and like they do the whole thing where he's trapped inside the cave of time or whatever it's called, of wonder. And they do an amazing job with that, dude. Like they do the whole like, because Aladdin's like, who are you? And he's like, are you serious? Like normally when people rub their lamp, they know who the fuck I am, you know. And
Is it the same? So the thing that I'm curious about, that last question I'll ask, is I remember a clip of that part, like a very, very small clip, was the first reveal of us seeing Will Smith as Blue and as Genie, and it got a lot of like negative feedback.
yeah,
Do you feel like seeing the full scene put a different light on it?
it's still just as bad. But I didn't care for it even in the first place. Like the whole concept is he's a genie, he's blue, and then he has his human form to hide from people.
Okay.
And that's
I just was wondering if it changed.
no,
between
it's
seeing just like a glimpse of it or
that
seeing-
exact one is there. The thing I gotta say though, him being inside the Cave of Wonder, maybe the lighting makes the genie look terrible. Like he looks just not good. And then once he goes out, you're like, hey, they did a really good fucking job with the CG on this. But yeah, being in the Cave of Wonder, I was like, I feel like you can see a lot of bad stuff. I feel like more lighting hides maybe or something like
Sure,
that,
maybe.
because the darkness was not helping that genie out.
Okay.
But overall, really good.
Cool.
I wanted to say that I think I told you that I ended up buying the car for that Final Fantasy game.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
thing where you wanted to bet me, which you don't want to do that, dude. I quit that game already. You know, just,
After you gave Keith advice on how to get it,
Yeah.
I saw you write this long thing. I was like, out of everyone in this list, I know the one who played the game.
what happened is like I'm not max level for when it comes to like the latest expansion. I was level 50, which is the max level for the original game.
Okay.
But there's 2 expansions, so there's level 60 and level 70.
Okay.
I was only level 50, and I found factions. I found like groups that you over time you do quests for them and you gain reputation with them. And I started like getting in that mindset that I've done with MMOs where it's like, okay, if I do this every single day, and I'm like, I'll do like, I literally was gonna be like, the reset happens at 8 o'clock. I have to leave at 8 o'clock to work. So I was like, I'll just like 10 minutes in the morning from 8 to 8:10. I'll fucking finish these quests real quick. I'll just
10
to
minutes?
get it out of the way. Exactly, you know. And then 10 minutes turns into 20 minutes. 20 minutes turns into 30 minutes. All of a sudden I'm late for work. And I was like, you know what? I cannot fall into this fucking trap. I cannot fall. And I had already pre-ordered the you guys fucking suck. But anyways, I had pre-ordered the most recent expansion, which comes with
For Final Fantasy?
For Final Fantasy. No. And that's the third expansion, and it comes with 2 previous expansions. So I was like, I literally have this game, it comes with everything else.
Losing him.
And so I bought that. It was $40, and then I paid $15 to have to, because it's a monthly thing to play it.
This is all after you stopped playing?
No. This is like when I got into it.
You did
all this.
Okay,
I did all this. And then I was like playing it, and I realized like I'm gonna get into this mindset of like let me do all these things that are unnecessary at this point because all this content's old and I don't need to do it. How is that gonna happen with all the newer content's getting even worse for me? And so I literally went into the Square Enix, and I found the order I did, and I'm like, cancel. And they're like, we've received your request. We'll let you know. And like the next day, it's like, we canceled your pre-order. Here's your $40 back. And then I canceled my subscription. I only had like 8 days left, which I think it's less now. And yeah, so that's done. I got the car. I mean, I spent like all this shit time grinding it.
So what are you playing now?
I'm still playing World of Warcraft. So.
Got him back, boys. Got him.
That's been a thing. Like
we got him.
Mission Control's like...
like they're gonna have classic, dude.
Ed Harris is like, we got it.
I was never scared.
No, they're gonna have classic. I'm waiting for that. So
Are they doing another wave of the beta? Because I remember you got it, but then you couldn't do it because it was like 2 to 6.
This is what you're doing to me.
I didn't do it.
This is you guys.
You did it to yourself.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to do another one. I think that the idea is so they had a wave of initial people that are playing the beta, and they're allowed to play it this whole time. Okay. The max level is level 30 out of 60, and from my understanding is they found a shit ton of bugs from level 1 to level 30. So I'm assuming at this point they're going to be like, hey, here's to level 40 now, and then they'll find a bunch of bugs from there, and they'll just slowly fix it. And then because the release date's already out, I think it's like August,
maybe.
I don't really remember what the release date is, but it's this year.
Jake will find out.
So that, and then Dauntless was released for console, and I had quit Final Fantasy, and I was like, I don't want to go back into that, even though I have time to play it. I downloaded Dauntless on my PS4. It automatically found my like Epic account, and it's like, do you want to connect it? I'm like, yeah, and it connected me. And the character that I started when like the game first came out, it was there. Like everything I've done, like I did quite a bit. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So I was playing it, and I did like some of the more end game content, and the amount of shit this creature was dropping on the ground was causing my system to fucking freeze up, dude. It was going so slow. I was getting like 10 frames a second.
What?
Yeah, it was fucking bad. And I'm like, either my PS4's fucking dying, or this game can't handle this fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was getting kind of pissed. So I was like, you know what? I turned it off, went on my computer, downloaded it on the Epic Game Store. Same thing, connected me automatically to that same account. And they have cross-play, cross account.
Oh, sure.
So I can play that same account on PC. Smooth as butter, dude.
Hey, maybe they're having some issues
so nice.
on console.
Yeah, so it's not optimized probably. And so, yeah, I've been playing it on console, and it's been fun.
Or on PC?
It's been fun. Or, PC, and it's been really fun. Yeah.
Cool.
I've only played it on PC for 2 days, and I was playing it on console for 2 days as well. So
nice.
Yeah, they got like daily stuff going on. So they have they have they have like a board, like a hunt board you can go to,
like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and you can either choose specific monsters to hunt, or they have like go to this area that has these specific monsters, and if you do that, you get like bonuses, and you can do that bonus up to 4 times, which it's usually like a material to make that elemental type. So like you can do like a desert area, which is gonna be all fire, so you get like extra fire elementals.
Oh, buffs and stuff.
And you use those elements to like make a fire sword or make fire armor essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it uses a lot of its own elements.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, and what's cool too is like the game like is making you want to make everything. Like
Yeah.
it has achievements like make this guy's armor, beat the crap out of him with his own armor on, you know, like stuff like that. So like and so there's no limit to inventory, and so you can make every single armor, upgrade every single armor,
Damn.
and just use it that way. And so it is a lot of that. Like when you go to fight a certain monster, it tells you to like load up, like do your loadout, and it tells you like he's a fire creature. So if you use ice weapons, it'll do more damage. If you use fire weapons, it'll do less damage.
Okay.
If you have ice armor, you take more damage. If you have fire armor,
It gives
you
you
take
all
less
the
damage.
info.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So then, and you just switch out to the right gear, and you're
I think
ready
that's a little bit more like friendly than like I feel like Monster Hunter just like throws
Dude,
you
if
in
you
and you don't
compare it-
know.
But also, if you compare it, dude, like I think Monster Hunter is like way more intense, dude. Like
Yeah, yeah.
stat wise and all this stuff,
Sure.
like that doesn't help you out. This one's just like this element, yes. This element,
Yeah.
no. And
It's
that's
very
it.
it's much
Yeah.
more simplified.
Yeah, definitely.
For better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So yeah, enjoyed it. And that's it. And then what else? That's pretty much it.
Shane, what do you guys?
Neo 2, closed alpha. Not impressed. It's the same game.
So real quick, I think you say Neo as well.
Yeah.
I say Nio.
Neo, potato, tomato, tomato.
We can ask him in an interview.
Yeah, I was just not impressed. It's the same game, and I feel like that game doesn't take skill. Like, I mean, it's a weird type. It's a weird type of skill. Damn. Like the boss fights are like,
Damn.
you just demon mode, boom, 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 kill them. And I feel like Sekiro, there's a strategy. You can't use the same tactics against each boss. It's different. It feels different. I feel like Sekiro is just very skill based.
Do you know if you
So-
start in the beginning or do you start with like already some
You
abilities?
start level 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you,
The difficult part is fighting the NPCs. That for Neo.
for Neo 1, do you played it?
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
No. Yeah. I was like, it's all right. Got tired of it. It's the same thing, and it's
Well, the thing I was going to bring up of it being the same thing is I wanted to ask you because I feel like you have more. Both of you guys have more expertise on this. I feel like from what I understand of the Dark Souls games, they're very much just more of Dark Souls, but people don't really criticize it for that. So I was wondering what the difference was here of like it's more the same being a bad thing versus it being more of the same and a good thing.
I wish they changed it. Like, I wish it wasn't like Neo 1, and it's just
I wouldn't
like exactly.
At least personally, I wouldn't say it's more of the same being a bad thing. I think what it is like the way the game actually feels and plays is just really different. And so Sekiro is a game that's been out for a while, and that the way that feels and that plays is just one way. You get used to that. You play Nio or Neo, and the feel is different. It feels.
Sure. I think another thing that falls under is like when you take like let's say a World War II first-person shooter, the or just even a first-person shooter. You have the battlefields, you have a Call of Duty, and you have a Borderlands, and they all feel different.
Yeah.
And if you're very much in the vein of one, the other ones are gonna not feel good or right. Like I try to play a Call of Duty game, and when I shoot at something, the feeling of impact as far as the sensory it gives me of like, oh, I've registered a hit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that feels like an airsoft gun.
I
Versus
think
like
that-
when I'm playing Destiny or Borderlands, I feel the way they've done the design of it. I'm like the hit. I feel like that was an impact, or I feel like that mattered,
and I think
or
that
something
sword-wise,
satisfying.
like when you clash in Sekiro, like that's like holy shit, like like it,
Yeah.
the game rumbles, like you have the hearing. I think I haven't played Nio, but I feel like
watched you
that.
play
But
a
the
little
first one. This is the first one, exactly.
That clash.
But I'm
isn't
wondering
there.
if that's a similar thing with like or even samurai.
I think it
games of,
definitely
like,
is.
There's Nio, there's Sekiro, there's going to be Ghost of Tsushima, and whatever other. I don't know if the next Assassin's Creed is going to be in Japan,
Yeah.
but if it is, then there's another game with like how does the gameplay feel, and how much does that matter to one player versus how much does like the story, the plot of it, like. Did Nio ever have like a story element then?
It did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah,
Was
I don't
it so? It
remember.
wasn't anything of like a drawed you in.
No.
Okay.
The thing I don't like about Neo as well is Bloodborne, not Dark Souls 2, all the Dark Souls and Sekiro, I like how the levels are interconnected and you can find shortcuts. Neo tries to force that upon you, but they're not connected because do you remember like
loading?
You beat a level 1 and then you go to level 2 and then
load.
you go to level 3 and I just like
It's like Mario, like where you go like next part, next part, next part.
I just like
and it loads into your
It seems much more traditional, or in a not in a good way or bad way. Just like if like I look at it, I'm like, this is a really really up-res modern day version of like a PS2 game.
Yeah, pretty like
Like I remember seeing those old like ninja games like my cousin and I would play on PS1, PS2, where it was like do this level, get through it, items, drops, system, load to the like exactly how you're saying.
yeah, it's like I would say like this is like Ninja Gaiden 2D like fucking pixelated, and now this is it in the future, and it's exactly like that with still all the same old elements like the Super Mario like choosing your map stage.
What if there were things? And you've mentioned
How
a
to
few right now.
improve it?
What would turn it around for you?
Delete it, Control Delete, rename it to
Here's
Sekiro.
I just feel like the combat doesn't feel right. I don't know, like how the combat is. Sekiro's combat does take skill. There's poise, and this is kind of like Dark Souls stances, stamina, but I feel like every obstacle you go through isn't too difficult. And like in Sekiro, there are moments where like good level design, like they'll place certain enemies and it's like, fuck, how am I gonna fucking like it's beatable, but I would have to really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, how do I have to do it?
So if they changed level design,
Everything? Dude, just the combat just doesn't. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I just don't like the
I feel
combat.
like this could be a topic in itself, but again, like it's a demo, and I don't know.
I mean, alpha. Yeah, I'm curious how much does change.
Right,
But I
yeah.
wanted to see like what feedback you would have, and if if they're listening, then they they get a little bit of it.
But again, like I don't know if they have difficulty settings on there. I don't know if they're making it just easy so they don't
It's
have
probably
all
like
the,
a new game plus.
They don't have all the enemies that are available. Like normally, like if you play New Game Plus, there's like 16 enemies on this fucking bridge.
the
Right
hardest-
now, there's only one.
The hardest part of the game is PvP, dude. Look, that's literally the hardest part. Those guys could.
Do you think?
Fucking good.
Do you think they could incorporate a PvP that would make it stand out versus other Souls Sekiro style game?
Yeah,
You know
can
what?
make-
That they
give,
don't have.
I'm gonna give it a plus because I don't like PvP in Dark Souls and Bloodborne because there's like a lag because it's real time. I like how it uses the memory of how you play to fight. That's a plus. Okay. There's no lag when you. But
do
you're
you
not
think they
fighting.
could lean? Do you
you're
think
not
they
fighting
could
a
lean
real
into
person.
that more with like a mode or
I
something?
don't know.
So you're
Man.
finding like a memory of someone.
Yeah.
So how you fight it when you die? That how you fight when you go into someone's game. That's how you're gonna fight their character.
Like
An
that
AI,
stance.
an AI,
But the AI is
controlled-
fighting in that stance and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So it's not just like if you fucking hit, X like 1,000
No.
times, it's not gonna just be randomly X 1,000.
It's like a loadout and just you just-
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool if they leaned it. Anything else?
Wolfenstein.
The first one still?
TOS.
I saw that clip.
Terms
So
of
I
service.
had-
You're like, oh shit.
I had no idea that there was gonna be those kind of scenes. I was like chilling. It was the second time I'm chilling. I was like, oh shit. I'm super invested in his story. I think gameplay it has problems. It's weird because like people will see me and then they'll forget about me. It's like that's
Yeah.
kind of weird. Like, but I mean, story's fantastic.
You enjoying it?
And people, the reason why I play Wolfenstein first is because I asked viewers, what should I play first, Wolfenstein or Doom? They said Doom's a better game, so I played the worst game first. Because I don't want to play Doom first and be like, damn, this was fucking good. And then I play Wolfenstein and I was like, oh.
I feel like Doom will satisfy you in gameplay. Wolfenstein has good gameplay, but the story is like every time I get a cutscene, I'm like, oh boys, let's go.
TOS.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm just making a prediction. I feel like Anya dies,
Who's on you?
his girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is the beginning of the game where you're in the wheelchair and like shit's just happening.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like instead
yeah.
of like cutting, it just starts the game
Yeah.
right there. It's like, oh fuck.
There's a scene where like because there's like this evil lady.
Yeah.
That
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
And there's a part where like this robot grabs her and just tosses her. He's like, I think she's alive because she's in the other cover.
Yeah, she's in Wolfenstein too.
Spoilers.
But I mean, she got fucked up, dude. I was like, holy shit.
I thought that was just funny.
I'm trying to play Doom. I don't think I'm gonna finish Doom by the time B3 happens.
Oh, you started playing Doom?
No, I want to play Doom.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like 70% done with Wolfenstein, I think. I looked at the chapters.
Okay.
So I'm like 70% done. So I'm almost there.
I mean, I think with Doom, you just gotta like play a little bit of it.
you don't need to.
Like, there's a story. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
There's it, but it's very bare bones.
I wonder how long it's gonna take him to fight the final boss.
Of Doom?
No,
Of this?
because you're playing in the hardest difficulty, right?
So I'm playing on the hardest difficulty.
I platinum that game.
Wolfenstein, not hard. I got to a hard part. So you're stuck in a room with these two armored guys,
Yeah.
and there's like recharge points. I'm like, damn, this is like the first wall, dude. Well, I mean, I eventually beat it after like 7 tries, but I was
God, I
like,
hate those armored
I was like, this is fucking hard, dude. Holy shit.
There are points in that game where you just like trying to cheese. Where, and by cheese, I'm just saying like, there are 4 guards a football field away, and I'm like, I got my laser. I'm just gonna sit here and just ting, ting, ting. I could do this all day. Ting, ting. And then I'm like, all right, I'm good. I forgot about one guy. Boom.
yeah.
Dude, all over again.
Fuck.
He had a scene where he's like trying to hide, and and he gets stuck. He's like, no, I'm stuck, and he just like sloop. He's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fun.
No shows. I've been reading Miniatures by John Scalzi. That's so 2 of his short stories got into Love, Death, and Robots. So I'm enjoying it. They're fucking easy reads, like 5 minutes per story.
Cool.
2,000 word stories.
Dang.
Yeah, but
You gonna go back to Game of Thrones after this, or no? I thought you were reading them.
Oh. I was supposed to record. I was supposed to
Song of Fire and
record.
Ice. Sorry.
I was supposed to record, so I stopped because I don't want to forget. I need to record the podcast with my imaginary guest, but so it's on pause.
Okay.
But
Running out of ideas, so we start a new podcast. Fucked up, dude.
Man, he's gonna reuse all the topics again.
not actual gameplay. That's it.
I was on travel this weekend. Katie and I went to Seattle for Memorial Day.
PAX.
Yeah. And yeah, we just did some hikes, and then we saw some downtown. I went to Pink Gorilla.
Did you go to?
Is that
McStabby's?
I showed her the street.
I feel like that's donuts.
Pink Gorilla is a video game store.
Oh, okay.
They have a lot of retro stuff, like a lot of retro stuff.
Like
And-
it's also retro.
Very retro. It reminded me in the same vein of like Super Potato. If you've heard of the Akihabara, it's like this retro like
I know the shirt you're talking about. I didn't know it was called Super Potato.
Super Potato, yeah. In Akihabara, it's like this like vintage retro place
And
where you
that's
can find like
in Japan.
yeah. But a lot of people, I guess, have like been like, oh, it's a sight to see or check out if you're in that area. And then when I went to Pink Gorilla, I was like, oh, this is in like trying to get that same vibe of like retroness. And I wanted to get something, so I was like looking, and I saw their Game Boy section. So I got
Pokemon.
original copy of Pokemon Blue, new battery in it,
Nice.
which I was like, all right, cool.
You can do it yourself, dude.
I know, but I have yellow, but I can't find my blue.
So
And I'm
how
like,
long? I know there was like a whole meme thing going on where it's like, if you have this game, it is now out of battery or whatever. Do you know how long that was?
I mean,
Was it
19
30 years?
Yeah, I think something around there.
So you got another 30 years with this game?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, just
I got my Game Boy Color, so
start playing it now so you can put all your games on Pokemon Bank, that you can
Money
move your
in a
Pokemon
bank.
Home. That you
Brock
can put on
Lesnar. And then the other game I got was Tetris for the Game Boy. I wanted a copy, so I was like, yeah,
Classic.
got my kit. Yeah, we hung out in Seattle, and then on the last day we were kind of tired and we're just like kind of done walking around, but we don't want to go to the hotel, so we went to see a movie. We saw Booksmart, Olivia Wilde movie. She
Rated
directed, yeah, and two young,
TOS?
huh?
TOS.
Terms of service.
Yeah, it's some.
Cool.
It's like another one of those like Freaks and Geeks or Superbad or American
Like
Pie.
growing up.
Yeah, they're in high school. So the premise is these two girls are book smart. They're like they think of themselves as the top of the top. And the trailer didn't give me any vibes. It was just like they're gonna like want to party the night before graduation. And they go into the reason why. They're like, oh, we're better than all these other students that partied all year. And then somehow they find out that all those students are also going to these top schools. And they're like, wait, what? They partied and are going to these schools? We just fucking put all our energy in.
Wasted all our time.
So we're like, we could have partied. And they're like, we got to party. So the night before, they're like, let's try to get into a party. And they spent all night doing it.
Did they have Andrew WK party hard?
No.
Is Andrew WK in it?
Spoilers.
Okay.
No.
So he is. Got it.
Well, if I say no, it's still a spoiler.
Right. So he is. Cool.
So, but I don't know. Katie was like, so it was okay. I laughed my ass off. It was really funny for me. They did a lot of jokes that like
Is
were
it not her comedy?
well, like I think the premise of it for her was more like this has been done a lot, and she
okay.
was hoping for something different, like very different. I was like, it was different enough in the sense that like you don't often get the girl perspective.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like two guys trying to get laid and all this stuff, beer and this stuff. But like they went a different angle with this, and I liked that more. Like I was fine with the slight differences they made. The thing though that I didn't know until after was that one of the two girls is Jonah Hill's sister. Oh shit! I was like, what the fuck?
I feel like I know which one out of the two.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, she has a lot of like. I would feel like reminds me of like the female version. Exactly.
But like, it didn't dawn on because I've seen her in What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. She's got really good comedy, and she's like young, and I'm like, okay, she's got a potential. And her humor is not at all like Jonah Hill. So that I didn't even make the connection. I was like, she's funny. She's
not even that though. Like I didn't know until you told me.
Yeah.
But then once you told me, I'm like, I know which one out of the two.
yeah, I could see it. But the whole cast was great. They like really go into like all the other people in their class and how their different personalities are, and some of them are like weird, and some of them get more time, and it was fun. I liked it. It wasn't too long either. It was like under 2 hours. I got into the demo or the beta of Mario Kart Tour, which is the mobile game that they're going to be releasing soon. And I got into it right before I went on the trip, and luckily I got free Wi-Fi on the flight. So like the entire flight, I brought my Switch. I'm like, I got to work on this Mario Kart. So my main feedback for it is it's fun. I can definitely see elements where they're going to try and get people to pay. Like the way you unlock racers is you either get a lot of stars or play a lot, and you get items or rewards that allow you, without spending anything, to essentially open a loot box at either a driver, a cart, or a
so each box
parachute
is a certain theme, essentially?
No. Each box could be one of those three things.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, though, they list, I think because of recent loot box legalese, they list the percentage chance of any one of those things.
That's a new thing.
So they're like, these top three things, 1% chance. These other things, 40, 30, 10.
And the top, like the 1% are like really like high
They're like,
stats.
they're like Metal Mario, Metal Kart, Metal Glider. And I have Metal Mario.
I saw that. That 1%.
But I didn't get the other two.
Part of the 1%. That's fine, dude.
They have cups, and it's 3 tracks and like a challenge. So the challenge is always like do 30 jumps in like 2 laps. They shorten the races to be two laps. They go by pretty fast. Then as you play more, you unlock 100cc, 150cc, and I don't know when you get 200cc. I think that's going to be in the main game.
Does
not
it
in the
feel
beta.
very similar to like a regular Mario Kart game?
So the thing that I initially, it might have been more people not playing it as well or getting used to it, but there's the mechanic of drifting. And I don't know if you guys remember the DS version. It's broken in that version.
Yeah, Snake.
Like people just back and forth,
Yeah.
Snake, just boost. It started to feel like that, and I was abusing the fuck out of it. And I'm like a lap ahead of everyone. Everyone's dropping like 8 red shells on me and a blue shell, and I'm still like half a track ahead of them. But as I went further, and this was, by the way, in 50cc, as I played more and more, and I think as more people played more and more, I'm on 150cc now, more often than not. And the opportunity to do that is not there anymore. Like, it's become an even playing field where I'm like, fuck, I didn't get first, or it wasn't guaranteed anymore.
Right.
I started like realizing like, oh shit.
Is
okay.
it just because it's so much faster, or all these people are like just not?
Everyone is either. I think more people are aware of how to drift in the 150cc. It pairs you with other people that are doing 150, so I think they know what they're doing. And also, the opportunities to do it are not there because everyone's going at around the same speed, and also the item usage is very like it's much more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But whether or not you get first, there's a whole other sub mechanic of like getting 5 stars on a track.
Right.
And this getting a set amount of stars unlocks the next cup, and then the next cup, and those are tied to how many points you get in a track. And you don't necessarily need to be first to get the most points, but getting first awards you more points. So there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I just need 6,000 points. I don't care if I got first. So I'm just trying to get points and do tricks or do whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I got 5 stars because I need to unlock the next cup. And then they'll do ranked tournaments. So randomly it'll pick like one of the cups you have and be like, there's 20 players you've been pooled with that we're going to do a ranking. And so it takes that cup and it's like, get your high score on all these tracks and see if you get first in a week. And if you're at the end of the week, you're first, you get a lot of rewards. If you're third or something, you get less.
Did you get first?
So in the last one, it was one of the earlier ones. I fucking wrecked. I was like 1,000 above, at least in my group. I looked at the Reddit and people were like astronomically above me. I'm like, how the fuck? And I'm starting to learn the mechanics of what they're
like
tweaking.
how they get all those points.
Yeah. You can upgrade your drivers, carts, or racers. And what you're upgrading is one of 2 things. One is the level of the thing, and that can increase the chance of certain abilities to activate or certain items to drop. The other is the point value of your person. So if you have a driver like Mario, like Metal Mario, and I've leveled and I've done his not his skills but his points and increase it, he's worth 800 points now. So when I start the race, I don't start at 0. I start at 800 points. A lot of racers, when you haven't invested in that, will start at like 200 points. Right. Everyone's like at a base point. Yeah. So the more you use them, the more points they're worth, the easier it is to get that high score that I need.
Because you're starting already with all this.
So it's like I can work on personal goals while playing the game easily, and you can replay. So it's kind of interesting. And the way it works is you just swiping left and right.
Oh.
And so when you're drifting, you tap, and then you swipe left and right, and you're just like, and like I'm just scooting across.
Too bad all this is gonna reset.
Yeah.
Or supposedly that's the rumor.
Yeah. So I've been playing that a lot. Pokemon Go quite a bit. And I haven't played much. I want to play more of the SWTOR MMORPG. Destiny is about to get a new season.
Season of Opulence.
Which I'm going to be playing.
Which is that's the raid, huh?
So they had a raid for Black Armory, and they didn't have one for Drifter. And now the 3rd season, they're having a raid.
But like this 3rd season, like this whole DLC is a whole it's raid related.
No. So it's called Opulence in that like there's a theme going with it, which is this guy who is a boss in the original base game raid.
The fucking robot?
The callous guy who's like like a Jabba the Hutt kind of guy.
You realize he was a robot?
Yeah, he's not. It wasn't really him. It was a decoy him. And so this season, he's like he wants to empower you. He's like, take all the weapons. I want you to like be like gluttonous with power. So he's got a lot of loot for you. Opulence. And so there's a themed raid in that area, and then there's a new 6-player activity which is weird. It's like a mix of like. I don't know what the exact gameplay is, but from what I'm reading, you can get specific loot out of it. So, like, if you want the sniper and you want it with a certain perk, you have to use certain items to submit to the activity when you go into it, and then you try to win, and then the reward will come out guaranteed to be like what you want. But in order to get what you want, you need the material. It's sort of like Monster Hunter, where it's like you know what you're going to get as long as you have the materials.
Right.
So I think that's interesting because a lot of times people are like, I don't know what the fuck kind of loot I'm going to get.
Drops. Or just doing the shit like over and over and over.
Random
and getting like
RNG.
The gun you want, but like the shittiest stats or whatever.
So I think it's like them trying a new way of RNG plus loot.
Yeah, it works.
So it'll be interesting. And so that's a new 6-player activity. And then a bunch of new quests and new guns and everything. So it'll be fun. But then next week they're also announcing like what's after this season, which this year of content has been all under Activision partnership. They said that the next chapter of D2 is probably going to be their beginning of non-Activision. I don't think it's going to be them announcing a sequel. I think it's going to be a DLC. But my concern is now becoming, are they going to continue to be on the PC side on Battle.net? Because Battle.net is in with Activision.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly, my gut is telling me they're going to go to Epic. Like, I could definitely see Bungie being a big enough player to make a big splash and be like, we're going to be on Epic. And Epic would be a good place for them because they get to keep most of their...
I would say that is a fantastic move if that does happen, because I think people that are playing Destiny understand what's going on with them and Activision, which is obviously linked with Battle.net.
Yeah.
And I think people see it as like, this is obviously them being released from these chains.
Yeah.
And they're like, I will gladly follow these guys. It's not going to become a thing where it's like, oh no, fuck Epic. Like, they're stealing these guys. It's more of like, Destiny is now free from these chains. Let's follow them into
Breaker
Epic.
of chains, and then burn all of them.
And burner of...
Well, the thing that I think is
soon.
going to be hard is, as a self-publishing, it becomes hard to, get your game out there.
Definitely.
And Epic, from what one of the appeals is how much they let the game developers keep on the money side of things.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do a thing where it's like, they might even do a deal where it's like for a week you guys can download Destiny for free, and it's just the base one where you'll have to.
Well, I'm wondering when that my curiosity comes into when does that kind of them leaving Battle.net happen, if it does happen.
Yeah.
Because to me it would make more sense if Destiny 3 clean slate wherever it's going to be, but whatever they do with Destiny 2 is a partnership that they just keep going until it's done. But we'll see. I haven't done too much else. I haven't watched much TV. I have last season of Deadwood to watch. Got to get back on.
Picard wants you back.
I know. Got to get back on next gen. That's the thing. We've been just busy. This weekend's gonna be kind of busy, so gonna try to do that.
Beat me up, Scotty.
So
Trailers.
there's a lot of trailers. Seeing Godzilla this weekend.
And we almost had a topic. I had a suggestion.
What kaiju would win?
You pick a kaiju and then. Well, I mean, I said Godzilla's OP, so we can't use Godzilla.
Not fair.
The American Godzilla. Get his ass handed to him. So wait, Godzilla would be off limits?
Yes.
Shit, let's do it. Topic. Okay. All right, where can people find you guys?
They can find me at the Philly everywhere. Not really though.
At the last bosses everywhere.
Find me at Cujo Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. Thanks for joining us again, episode 121. And if you have any ideas of maybe suggestions of what kind of topics you want to hear from us, maybe if not just like we would gladly take topics if you have any that you want to hear us. But if you also have like themes or just general ideas of topics you'd like to hear from us, we're all ears. We'd love to hear from you in any way, shape, or form. So let us know if you want to hear more about VR. For Vargas would talk more about VR.
Don't do it.
We'll make them.
Don't.
World of Warcraft.
Yes, get me back in there.
We'll get the guy on here. Call him up. But until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.